Thank you for having me. I must tell you that our viewers will definitely watch this video. Of course, a shocking development. See Fubara meeting with Kwankwaso shortly after the screening as NDC candidate for River State. A must watch, I must tell you. But meanwhile, before our viewers watch that video, this is happening as at the same time. We are seeing someone, a group of lawyers, challenging Chinda, asking INEC not to use Chinda for River State governorship election come 2027. But let me quickly bring you up to speed with how they want to stop a wicked ally Chinda before we go ahead to watch that video involving Fubara having conversation with Kwankwaso. Of course, this is from Daily Post. It says court has to stop INEC from recognizing Chinda as APC River Global candidate. You go further to say that there appear to be no end in sight to the political crisis in River State as an Abuja Federal High Court has been asked to stop a major candidate, Chinda, from participating in 2027 governorship election in the state. But meanwhile, let me jump and give you the reasons why these people are making this asking court to stop Chinda from participating, because what we are seeing is going to be a serious fireworks in that state. I'll bring you up to speed with that part.
Excellency, good evening. My name is Ambassador Fubara Dagogo. I'm from Rivers State, and I'm here with our incoming governor and the chairman of the National Assembly Forum.
Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Engineer Daboikiabo Makiapie Jack, and I'm contesting for House of Reps for Akukutoro Asaritori Federal Constituency. Thank you.
Good evening, My Excellency. My name is Ambassador Blessing Fubara Senior, vying for the position of Governor for Rivers State.
You are all welcome.
Okay, this is exactly the part where the people who took Chinda to court have made their demand. He said, however, legal hurdles have emerged in APC gubernatorial flag bearers part ahead of the 2027 election, as an association of lawyers who include members of Chinda's Obiapo Federal Constituency of Rivers State has approached an Abuja Federal High Court seeking to stop him from taking part in the 2027 poll on the grounds that his defection from the PDP to the APC did not comply with the provisions of the Electoral Act 2026 as amended, as well as Supreme Court pronouncement on defection of legislators. Let me at this point tell you that from what we are seeing, this will in no doubt give Fubara an edge over APC, because whether we like it or not, Obi is a very big factor in the southern and southeast. So with the presence of Obi in this race and having Fubara as NDC candidates, I have to say that the Nigerians are going to see a tsunami of support for NDC come 2027. And whether we like it or not, NDC currently is a party to beat in Rivers State, saying that Fubara is a candidate of NDC. For what we are seeing, I know that political pundits are already looking in that direction, and of course, all the media houses in Nigeria will mobilizing their cameras to Rivers State to witness a new vista in the Nigerian political landscape, talking about the emergence of Fubara as NDC gubernatorial candidate in Rivers State. But
Mr. Mato, will you say that?
Meanwhile, at this point, let us watch that video.
Mr. Mato, will you say indeed that with the new development by NDC successfully screening and giving their ticket to Fubara, indeed that APC will have something to worry about? All the maybe they will say they made a great mistake by not allowing Fubara to contest under their own platform.
For me, I think it's a very good big mistake, because whether we like it or not, the sentiment in Rivers State, the feeling of the people of Rivers State is that they are not comfortable with APC. There's no two ways about it. You agree with me that in the whole of the South, it is only when you coerce people that will normally vote for APC. I want to even catch your man back to what happened in Delta State. A similar scenario with what happened in Rivers State. Ubua, a former governor of Delta State, governor for 8 years in Delta State, defected to APC. He lost election as a senatorial candidate of APC in Rivers State to Senator James Manager. In the same vein, before the current Senate President, Gosa Obi, became relevant after his governorship, he left PDP for APC. It became difficult for him to even win a senatorial district for a state he governed for 8 years. So in the whole of the South, the sentiment, the feeling is the same thing. It took Amechi to use federal might to unseat Wike in 2015. The people of Rivers State stood with him to the extent that at the heat of the general election in 2015, a lecturer who represented PDP as return officer was shot dead. So the people were resolute to defend their vote with their own blood. And that's what we are likely going to see. If you look at what Asabuja is saying, telling ADC, be resolute, be firm, we are with you people, we are with you guys. So for me, it is going to be a tsunami of support for Fubara, for P2B, for, of course, the major opposition in Nigeria. I call NDC the major opposition in Nigeria because currently, NDC is the only political party that has no crisis. Look at PDP. PDP is battling running from pillar to pole. We have the Turaki-led national ESCO. We have, of course, the Wike ESCO. And as we have it, Jonathan, who part of failed to contest, is contesting under Turaki-led ESCO. And whether we like it or not, in the few days from now, we are likely going to see another candidate from Wike's led ESCO. So for Wike's fashion, I mean to say. So for what we are seeing, look at ADC. ADC is moving from crisis to crisis. As we speak, the Navi Gombe, who have been challenging the remark-led ESCO, have not stopped. And even at the same time, we are seeing Dumebi Atiku emerging as presidential candidate of ADC from another faction entirely. Now, Atiku is emerging from the camp of David Mark and Rafa Adeboshola as national chairman and national secretary of the party, respectively. So, NDC is the only party that has no problem. That is why the national leader of NDC, talking about, of course, Senator Saraki Edison, who is a lawyer, a former governor of Bayelsa State, said that in NDC there is no subsequent to belong. There is no leadership crisis. And I think it's coming out to be true. Because even the man who initially threatened to drag NDC to court over the registration have since chickened out, because he may have seen that he has no case to make. Because from the beginning, we tried to query and know whether NDC actually have problem with the registration. Because if you go to INEC website, it tells you that NDC is registered on court order. But if you probably know it, you understand that the process of registering NDC started in 2017. At the point of registration, the then INEC chairman, the then INEC under the leadership of Mahmoud Yakubu, said that the NDC logo resembled that of APC. As such, that they should go and change their logo. NDC stood their ground, said that logo do not resemble yes, that of APC, because you have two fingers that are raised in the air, so that it doesn't have any resemblance with the boom. So the case later in court until 2025, when court get order and compel INEC to register NDC. Though Yakub Mahmoud as INEC chairman did not comply with that court order, but the new INEC chairman, Judge Amubuta, comply with that order and register NDC. So that is why you go to INEC website today, you see it written there boldly, registered on court order. I give this analogy so that Nigerians will know that NDC is a safe place for people to come. But again, if you look at what is happening currently, you agree with me that the window that was closed or the door that was locked by INEC, going by that INEC deadline, that said that on the 10th of May, all political parties that seek to participate in the forthcoming 2027 presidential election would have submitted their dissertation to INEC. We understand that a court of competent jurisdiction in Abuja has since invalidated that deadline. So as it stands, anybody that wants to defer to NDC is free as air. Judging by the primary conducted by, of course, APC, where you have seen a whole lot of aspirants who are currently politically disgruntled, who are currently dissatisfied with the process. So I want to tell you that NDC is going to be welcoming a good number of defectors from ADC, from APC into NDC. Even as we speak, it's on record that the chief of staff, a former chief of staff to Uwada, the national chairman of APC, have since joined NDC. This after losing his bid to get ticket of APC. Even as we speak, two House of Rep members, current serving House of Rep members from Enugu State, who won the election on the platform of Labour Party, who rose on the popularity of people in that 2023 election to win House of Rep positions, have now since lost election in their bid to return to the House. Currently, they are begging NDC. They are looking for where to test their popularity again. This time around, they are even hoping to come and ride on the popularity of Obi again. That is why Obi movement are saying, no, we don't need you. because when it matters, you abandon us. So I must say that with the current situation of things, NDC is the destination of every genuine person who want to join the opposition.
Mr. Matu, one man in Rivers State talking about next week, the emperor of Rivers State is making sure that no other opposition party that was going to bring in Rivers State. In fact, he said it's only Chinda that has what it takes to win the governor candidate in Rivers State, and he has gone through the APC primary. As it stands now, will you tell me that the NDC has the arsenal to compete with APC and indeed the emperor of Rivers State? What about next weekend?
I just told you that there's a court case currently trying to compare INEC to drop, of course, Chinda on the basis that the process of his defection.
We all know that nobody that weekend is the judiciary itself as far as Nigeria is concerned. So in that case, being in court is dead on arrival, because we all know that weekend will win at the end of the day.
Let me quickly debunk that impression. It's a wrong one to say Wike is judiciary, because as far as I'm concerned, Wike is only exercising the power that the president enables him to exercise. Currently, Wike is not a governor. He doesn't have immunity. Today, if Tinubu decides to drop Wike, it ends there. Tinubu is only leaving Wike perhaps because of one thing or the other he did for him in the past. So I strongly disagree with any school of thought that said that Wike is a judiciary. Wike is not any judiciary. Wike is only powerful because Tinubu wants him to be powerful. That's why I see it as a person.
So the first step being taken by Fubara contest the governorship under the NDC platform, will you say is a welcome development, or is something that the supporters of Fubara should be celebrating?
I would say that it's a welcome development because the beauty of Nigerian democracy is multi-party system. Nigerians were worried that Nigeria was sliding into one-party states. So now that we are seeing people who are bold enough to challenge APC at the pool, I just told you that somebody like Asabuja have come out clearly to acknowledge NDC that they should not chicken out, that the river people are there for them, calling on all the indigenous people of River State, the Ogonis, the Ikweres, the Opobo, all of them. We call all of them to come out. That the people should stand up and say enough is enough, because that's the same thing they did for Wike in 2015. And I want to believe that the same people that did it that time are the same people who want to do it now.
All right, Mr. Amatu, the national leader of NDC happened to be this is Seriki and is from the south. Will you say is an added advantage? And also Peter Obi, they're one of the most popular Nigerian politicians. Will you say is an added advantage to indeed Fubara?
To be quite honest with you, this is a good omen for the opposition. We have an issue. They were concerned when Peter Obi wanted to join NDC, because we were thinking that Peter Obi may join NDC and be trapped, just the same way he was almost trapped in ADC. But at the time, I knew that someone like Seriki Dixon has a level of credibility, judging by his disposition in the National Assembly, judging by how resolute he always stands in national issues. And I think the man, Seriki Dixon, proved me right. But this is a man who came at the time and said, there is no status quo anti-development in NDC, there is no leadership crisis, and of course, you can see that he has shaped everyone who was even seeking to challenge the process of registering NDC in court. Because currently, there is no litigation against NDC in any Nigerian court.
Similar scenario took place in Lagos State under the leadership of Ambode, and Ambode did not come to any other political party. But we will say it's a very bold step that Fubara is taking now by making sure he pick the NDC and to run under the NDC platform.
To be quite honest with you, the scenario in, of course, Lagos State and Rivers State, they are a little bit different. Because when it happened in Lagos State, the threat of impeaching Ambode, if the threat was not there. I want to be that that's why he stood his ground to contest, even though he lost to Sanwo-Olu, who eventually became the candidate of APC and eventually the governor of the state. The circumstance in Rivers State currently is a very precarious one for Fubara, that if he ventures to the threat, he may be impeached. And if he's impeached, of course, that means that he has never governed Rivers State even
now you talk about impeachment now. Wike said that since Fubara at first shouldn't have even bothered to pick the APC governorship form because he made a promise and also there was written agreement that he is not going to contest for him to step down the impeachment process. Now that Fubara also went into NDC and picked NDC platform, do you think that indeed he's not afraid of the impeachment?
For me, I want to say that Fubara should know the consequence surrounding any action he takes. He's an adult, but as it stands, it's becoming clear that people of Rivers State want to vote according to their conscience, that they don't want to be influenced by any consideration that comes from Abuja. So, going by the presence of Obi on the ballot is a plus for the NDC candidate. That is the truth.
All right, Mr. Martin, my final shot on this very point. Are we stand to benefit in this, whatever is going on in Rivers State? Is it the people of the Rivers State or individuals come out quickly and Fubara come?
To be quite honest with you, the fight is not good for the general public because if what we hear, we have not been able to confirm because we don't have some level of classified information that what the controversy between both of them borders on maybe the patrimony of the state, common patrimony of the state. If that is the contention, it's something everybody should be worried about. But if the agreement was that he was going to give someone his salary for 8 years, I don't have issue with that. Because if you go and enter into contract, into agreement with an individual for resources of a state, I want to say that it is an agreement, a covenant that is faulty from the beginning. That is why even in the Bible, when someone went to enter covenant with death ahead, God told him that I create death, I create here. This covenant cannot stand, it is annulled. So it's an unlawful covenant.